What's going on, my broskies? My name is Toadskii, back again, here to bring you guys yet another One Piece Treasure Cruise video. Pretty exciting video today, actually. We have more information regarding the Japanese side of things. There's going to be an introduction to new limit break upgrades. So I made a video about this last month, I believe it was, like a couple weeks ago, where they introduced, some new upgraded limit breaks. We thought Log Luffy was going to be getting a humongous buff. Unfortunately, that wasn't the case. This time around, though, we got announcements of characters that are going to be getting their limit break buffs, and we also know what they already do, which is really cool. So in this video today, we're going to go through the entire list of the treasure map units that are getting their upgrades, as well as the Sugo Fest exclusive characters, because there are some here. Dude, some of these upgrades are kind of nice. They're kind of spicy, honestly. So, let's get into it. Obviously, massive shout out to the subreddit Discord for providing this. Shout out to Blazing Gamer for the majority of these translations here. Let's start off with Legendre Cracker. Now, Legendre Cracker didn't get any changes into his abilities, but he did get some changes to his stats. So here we have Cracker. Let's see what he got. He got 200 additional attack, 350 HP, 75 recovery, -3 cooldown. That's pretty big. -3 cooldown goes down to a 13 turn cooldown. And remember about Cracker, he also has this sailor ability. When a powerhouse or slasher on your crew uses a special, he gets 1 turn of cooldown reduction. So having that on top of the fact that he now gets 3 turn less cooldown. And how much stats was it? It was 200 additional attack. Are you kidding me? So that's like, it goes up to 1994 and then a 2194 with cotton candies. Dude, that is really good. That's a really nice buff. And how much HP was it? 350? 350 HP. Again, that's a huge buff. Recovery doesn't matter for Cracker. Overall, really nice statistical upgrade for Cracker with some additional cooldown. What else do we have next? So we got some treasure map units. We've got Mihawk, and we also have Sanji and Zoro. So let's go ahead and search Mihawk and filter through the strength one. Here we are. So this Mihawk, he was really good on release, and the only problem is with this character is that his name is Mihawk. He actually has a really good special ability. It does like damage, a 2.75 chain lock, 2 times orb boost for the slasher class. It's very good. It's just the fact that his name is Mihawk and you can't use him with other Mihawk characters. Though with V2 Mihawk, you wouldn't want to use a character like this anyway. But for this Mihawk, 200 additional attack, -3 cooldown. So what does that put him down to? 11 turns. That's really good. It means if this guy's boosted on a treasure map, getting that additional 100 times damage to all enemies, that's going to be really nice for like wave clearing mob stages, or even on the final boss stage if there are ads. You can just use his special to wipe that, which is really nice. So overall, not too bad honestly. And the other one was Sanji and Zoro. Now, from my recollection, Sanji and Zoro, I believe their cooldown was actually quite high. Let's have a look. So yeah, 16 turns. So there you go. What was it? 4 turns of cooldown, 350 HP, 200 additional attack. That's a nice upgrade for them. Unfortunately, this isn't really a character that you're going to be using that often, but again, another unit that could be boosted on another treasure map. Nice to have, I suppose, but not overly amazing. Just the stats and the cooldown are just pretty nice upgrades, like small upgrades. But remember, in order to get these upgrades, or specifically for the legends, you have to use these very rare keys that you can only get from ranking in the treasure map. I believe the keys that you get for unlocking the limit break for the treasure map units, they're available just from point rewards inside the treasure map. So everyone's going to get access to this one for the treasure map units. But the ones for the legends, you have to use very sparingly because you only get a very small amount of them depending on where you rank in the treasure map. So the next one is Sanji and Judge. This was quite a shock. I was not expecting this guy to get an upgrade to his limit break, considering how recent he is. So this unit, what does he get? Sanji and Judge, -1 cooldown, 500 health, and 200 attack. Okay, that's pretty big. 200 attack. That's huge. That is huge. He's going to have, what, over 2,200 after full limit break. Over 5,000 HP. Are you kidding me? And -1 cooldown down to 13. Again, just really minor upgrades, but these minor upgrades, they really mean a lot to characters like this. The cooldown doesn't matter too much. I mean, the additional 1 cooldown, it's nice, but it's not, the reason why you would spend the limit break key on him. The additional stats will make a big difference, though. That is for sure. So that's not a bad upgrade. Next is Whitebeard and Marco. So Whitebeard and Marco get 200 attack, 200 health, and also they get -1 cooldown as well. Okay, not too shabby. So let's go to Whitebeard and Marco. It's filtered by dual units, of course. Whitebeard and Marco. So they get additional 200. Okay, their health is actually kind of low. Considering it's a Whitebeard unit, you would have thought his health would have been a lot higher. The 200 attack, though, is huge. And remember, Whitebeard and Marco rely a lot on their recovery. They get an additional 100 recovery. That's pretty big. Every time you're switching between the characters, that healing, the additional healing you get is just going to be adding to that, which is great. 15 turn cooldown. Yeah, their special was always really, really high. So any cooldown you can get for this unit is going to be a big help for sure. Honestly, like, this unit is severely underrated nowadays. He is much slower compared to some of the more recent characters that have released, but you can't deny how good this character is. He is phenomenal still really good. Is it worth spending the limit break key on him? I think it might be worth, because the additional HP, attack, and recovery, all three stats this character basically will utilize. So having the ability to buff that even further, as well as lowering his cooldown, that is kind of good, in my personal opinion. So next is where we get into the interesting things, which is 6-star Buggy. Now, you guys might have just seen, Buggy actually gets a captain ability upgrade. So just a rehash for those who don't know what he already does, he is a 1.75 times attack boost to characters of 40 or less, which isn't overly that good. And he also will go ahead and reduce the HP and attack of characters with 41 or higher cost by 0.5 times. So they get half HP and attack if you use characters that are non-boosted. And he also gives you the guaranteed drop, of course. Pretty much everyone knows what Buggy's all about, right? But with his limit break, he got an upgraded captain ability, which is awesome. So his new upgraded captain ability will boost the attack of characters with 40 or less by 2.25. And then also have the same effect of half HP and attack for characters 41 cost or higher, and also gives you the guaranteed drop. So the main takeaway here is the additional attack. So going from 1.75 to a 2.25 is a pretty big jump. Now, I don't honestly think it's worth spending the limit break key on a character like this. Remember, characters like Buggy, you're only going to be using them on the easiest of content. Giving him an additional 0.5 to his multiplier up to a 2.25 doesn't really mean much. You're still not going to be using him on Chaos Difficulty Colosseums. You're still not going to be using him for raid bosses. I mean, some people have made mean teams that are able to do things like that. But typically, you're not using Buggy for those types of things. Now, yes, it does make him more powerful, but still, it's still only a 2.25 times attack boost. So I really would not suggest giving this guy the limit break key. You can see he does get -2 cooldown as well, so he goes down to a 9-turn cooldown for a 2 times attack boost for 2 turns for his own 40 cost or less. So that's a nice upgrade for the unit. He gets 350 health and also 200 additional attack. So, I mean, his attack was never the great in the first place, but the additional stats are always going to be nice. So, overall, it's a nice upgrade for Buggy, yes, but I really wouldn't waste the key on him. The next one is Akainu, version 1 Akainu, who recently got his 6+ on Global. I'm actually a pretty big fan of the unit. 6+ Akainu. So this is the one that we're mainly looking at. Unfortunately for him, he did not get an upgraded captain ability. He did get 200 attack though. For some reason, he got a lot of recovery. For an Akainu unit, like Akainu doesn't really use recovery, but this is big. -4 cooldown. That is humongous. He's going to be over 2200 attack after maxing his limit break. And then -4 cooldown, 11 turns. For that massive AoE damage, all strength orbs, and a 2 times attack boost to your strength units. That is huge. And he gets, what, 350 additional health as well, so this is going to be going up. Just overall, he just got to add really good overall buff. He doesn't really need to use the key, because when are you going to be using V1 Akainu, honestly? Unless if he's like one of your only good legends on your account, that would be the only situation where you would be using it to upgrade himself. Unless if there's specifically content that you want to use him for. V1 Akainu really didn't get that much of an upgrade. But hey, it's nice. If this was V2 Akainu getting -4 cooldown, yo, that would have been actually kind of lit. But unfortunately, V2 Akainu is not on this list. But let's move on to the next Sugo Fest exclusive character, which is Alka G. So this is, again, the version 1 Alka G 6+. Now, cool thing about this guy is that he came out around the same time as Akainu, the one that we just had a look at. And this guy actually did get a buffed captain ability, which is kind of interesting, right? Because with his 6+, he was up to, what, a 3.5 times attack boost, which is still pretty good. But the thing is you have to defeat 5 enemies, and he's only a base 2.25 times attack boost. So looking at that, it doesn't look that appealing, and I would agree. Now, what they've done here is crazy. Boost the attack of all characters by 3 times instead. So that's gone from 2.25 up to a 3 times base attack boost. And you still get the health boost as well. If you defeat an enemy, increase your attack boost slightly, and it stacks 5 times to a 4 times multiplier. So this character is now a rainbow 4 times attack boosting captain. Obviously, you have to defeat 5 enemies over 5 different turns first. So this means you go from, what, 3 times to 3.2, 3.4, 3.6, 3.8, and then a 4 times multiplier. Dude, this is a humongous buff for version 1 Kuzan. Considering, yeah, he was only 3.5 max before. So this means that, like, even though there might be a situation where you kind of lose your attack stacks, and if this was old school, you know, you would be kind of screwed at that point. But you're only going back to a 3 times multiplier. That is manageable, especially if you are using a hybrid friend captain. That's actually pretty manageable. Now, what else did he get? He also got -2 cooldown, 200 attack as well, so typical stuff, 200 attack, so he's going to be 2100-ish, 2100 and a half attack after full cotton candy limit break, etc. And he also got, was it -2? It was -2, so he goes down to a 10-turn cooldown, yo. 10-turn cooldown for a 1-turn buff extension, 2.5 chain, and 1000 fixed damage through barriers. Yeah, this is a really nice unit. Is it worth spending the key on this character? Maybe. Maybe. I think it might be worth spending the key on this unit because he got a really powerful upgrade. But let's keep going on. This is the one I was wanting to get into because Corazon got one of the best upgrades I have ever freaking seen. So let's go ahead and recap Corazon because I know a lot of people don't actually know what Corazon's captain ability is. So this is his 6+ version, right? Boost the attack of all characters depending on how much HP you currently have. So if you're at max HP, you get 3 times attack. And then obviously it scales down. If you're at 1 HP, you get no attack boost. So it's a massive scaling factor. Also, he recovers 1.5 times his recovery every time you hit a good, and you get half of his recovery healed every time you hit a great. So comparing this one to his original 6-star form, it is much better, but still, it's not a very good captain ability overall. Obviously, he has one of the best specials in the game, utility-wise, and he has really good crewmate abilities, reducing paralysis on your entire team, and special bind on your entire team by 1 turn. This is a really powerful support-type unit for any team, basically. Even a team where he's not boosted, he's going to be a great unit for. Many people understand that. Let's go through what his limit break is, though. So he gets -3 cooldown to start things off, -3 down to a 12-turn cooldown. That's already a huge buff. Remember, though, that with Corazon, he does have the cooldown reduction ability, so you can reduce it by 10 turns at the start of the fight. Essentially, now, with cooldown sockets, it will be fully maxed out at the start of the fight, which is great. And then moving on, he also got 100 additional recovery, so he goes up to, so with cotton candies and that additional upgrade, 812 recovery, and remember that his special is obviously based on his recovery. His healing from his captain ability is based on his recovery, so all of his healing capabilities got upgraded along with the cooldown reduction. And then he also got a buffed captain ability. The buffed captain ability is so good. So it boosts the attack of all characters depending on how much HP you have, up to 3.5 times at max. So remember, 3.5 at full HP goes all the way down to no attack boost at 1 HP. So that scaling factor, once again, is very significant, but his healing capabilities are upgraded. Remember, 1.5 times for each good that you hit, so that's the same. 0.8 times for each great that you hit. That is an upgrade. Previously, it was 0.5 per great, now it's 0.8 per great, and now heals 0.3 times per perfect. So now you even get a healing mechanic when you hit perfects with this character, because that was always one of the things with Corazon is, like, if you wanted to even use him as a captain, you wanted to obviously maintain your high health, and in order to maintain your high health, you had to hit goods and greats, but also you want to be dealing damage, so you want to hit your perfects. So you had to kind of balance that out, and it was just a pain, right? This time around, he actually gets healing mechanics as a captain when you hit your perfects. Amazing, amazing upgrade. So let's pull up the calculator just to break it down. So he heals for 1.5 times his recovery, times 812. So every time you hit a good, you heal 1218. If you have 6 characters, 7,300. That's just with one Corazon. Just with one. So 812. Now for if you're hitting greats. So greats is 0.5 times 6. You get 2,436 per for every time you hit great with your entire team, so that's a pretty good amount of healing as well. And then let's say you're doing a burst turn. How much do you heal when you hit your 6 perfects? So 812 times 0.3 times 6, 1461, probably 1462 with rounding, but I'm pretty sure they always round down for the healing. But either way, that's a good amount of healing after 6 perfects. Now remember, you have to add 1,000 as well because of auto healing. So 2,400 and a half every time you're doing a burst turn or you're just hitting 6 perfects. That's really good, right? And I mean, I don't know why you would do it, but I mean, you could legit run like double Corazon with a 3.5 captain. That's honestly really good, as long as the enemy doesn't have significant health cuts. But remember, he does have a healing special ability as well, which can heal you all the way back up to full. So there are ways around getting around, you know, enemies doing significant health cuts to your team with Corazon. I wouldn't honestly opt to run Corazon as a captain in 2019, moving into 2020. It's probably not the best bet. But it means now that all of these older captains that were just so terrible, like Kuzan and Corazon, they're actually usable now. And you can still hybrid them with some other great captains, of course, like Sabu and Koala. You could definitely hybrid that with Corazon as your own captain. That's a pretty good situation to be in as well. There's lots of cool things now that you can do with these new units. And it's such a shame that the previous Limit Break batch that came out last month was so terrible in comparison to what this one is. This one is crazy. I just hope they keep going down this road, upgrading the older legends so that they are like of current meta. Honestly, that's what I'm hoping for. Really love these new limit breaks. So hopefully you guys enjoyed this one. Let me know your thoughts and opinions down below in the comment section about all of these new upgrades. I'm personally a pretty big fan of them. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this one. If you guys did, make sure to leave a like, and if you want to stay up to date with all the content I post on my channel, including more One Piece Treasure Cruise content, make sure to hit the subscribe button down below. But other than that, I'll catch you guys within the next video.